there was a bunch of people that ended up getting killed. It was like a little young dude, I think, that was involved in this case, and he was just shooting motherfuckers. And so he went to testify against Boosie. You know what I'm saying? And I guess when he finally got up, because they was gonna fry Boosie, they was gonna put him in they was gonna line him up in the firing squad. You know what I'm saying? Down there, they got the death penalty in Louisiana. And I guess last minute, the dude basically said, hey, man. Yeah, the little dude, I guess little Boosie's crew, one of his little crew members, little dude said, man, I ain't shooting nobody. Oh. That was like the O.J. Simpson trial over and over. The Louisiana Department of Corrections or whatever, they were so upset. They were like, man, we got this rich ass nigga. We're about to give him the chair. And last minute, he did something like Woody. I don't know that nigga. I ain't shooting none of them people. Also wrote an affidavit like, yeah, I don't know what happened. So Louisiana was like, okay. So you know what the next step was gonna be? They probably would have pulled him over and killed him or something like that. They were like, okay, this is too much. Oh, yeah. You got more power than the fucking judge. How could you be a multi-millionaire nigga and you beat us at this racist white supremacist system? This is a slave state. You beat us? They was never gonna forgive that. They be like, he left. He went to Atlanta. And I understand why he did. He probably said, I can't stay in Louisiana. These folks gonna kill me. They gonna make an example out of me. I beat them. They're gonna kill me. Yeah, they gonna kill me. So he went to Atlanta, and what he said was, he said the difference between Louisiana and Atlanta is Atlanta appreciates stars. Black people like to see you riding around in a Rolls Royce and a Ferrari in Atlanta. He said the difference is they enjoy you. They appreciate stars. Now, yeah, it's rough down there. There used to be a lot of carjacking and a lot of that stuff down there, you know, in the last couple of years. But black folks that have stuff, there's a lot of black people down there that have stuff. It's a lot of people that's faking. Because my folks from Atlanta told me half them niggas be faking. But it's a lot of niggas that have shit. It's not surprising if you see a nigga riding around with a $200,000-$300,000 car. He might be in his 20s. That's a common thing. You see what I'm saying? Black people have shit down there. So they celebrate stars. They don't celebrate stars in Louisiana. The cop pulls you over in Louisiana. They like, nigga, you ain't supposed to fucking have this. That's why Master P had to leave New Orleans and he went to Baton Rouge. Same place where Lil Boosie's from.
He had to get out of there.
He had to get out because you have a system, you have a good old boy system that's like, okay, we know No Limit Records sold 200 million records, but we know you niggas is criminals. Well, you're like, no, we know you niggas is criminals. You're like, no, I'm not a criminal. I don't do that anymore. I've been clean for 30 years. No, you black, you got to be a criminal. There's no way you could be a millionaire without a criminal. That's set aside. That's set aside for race soldiers. Race soldiers look at it like, no, I'm the one that's supposed to be able to commit crimes and break the law and get away with it. Not you. You're a nigger. You know what I'm saying? That's not for you. So, you know, you can't stay in places like that. You can't, you know, so that's why they got up out of there. Thug, they probably, with a RICO, now keep in mind, this was a state RICO. So Thug they probably said, all right, we got flimsy evidence. You seen that case. It was kangaroo. It was ratchet as hell. None of the witnesses really, they couldn't use the witnesses. The niggas that threatened to snitch on them turned their back and said they're not going to do it. They got rid of the judge. Fannie the Mammy, she was like another Harris. She had some married nigga she was messing with, so she was trying to prosecute Trump on a witch hunt down there and prosecute Thug too. They got her out the mix. See, them Georgia Republicans down there said, hey, yeah, you can prosecute Thug, you better leave Trump alone. Yeah. You ain't white, nigga. Don't forget it. That's what that really was. They tapped her on the shoulder like, hold on, bitch. You ain't gonna prosecute no white man. That's
you better leave Trump alone.
Yeah, leave him alone. There's some reliable resources that I had that were telling me that, you know, Thug was doing a lot of community work down there and stuff like that. So, you know, they weren't really happy about that as well. But when you look at this case, they basically said he was doing some dirt shit. Basically, what they were trying to say is they were going around, they were paying people to shoot motherfuckers and all that. But I'm like, wait a minute. Niggas don't beat Ricos and Young Thug didn't tell. So what's really going on? It sounds like y'all had a sloppy case because a RICO, niggas don't beat RICOs. That's unheard of. This thug case is equivalent to the blowout that we seen with the Democrats now. This has never happened. How did he beat this RICO? Because he didn't tell. Now it looks like he didn't tell. So now it's looking like.
My theory.
Oh, go ahead.
They knew they had Lil Durk. They knew that was going to be high profile. And the feds are like they're a business as well. And they could see that this is the public perception is going to be we're attacking black rappers.
But it's a state RICO.
So let's ease up.
I don't get it. It's not a federal. This RICO's a state RICO. It wasn't a federal RICO. It would have been much worse if it was the feds. This was state. That's why I was like,
yeah, it was a state.
Georgia.
It was done to prove a point. It was done to corral the YouTube, Spotify rapper black kid era. It was done to. That's what Lil Durk is. But Lil Durk, they knew they don't care. You think they care that Lil Durk had somebody killed?
Hell no.
Fuck about that.
Hell no.
They don't give a shit. He killed another gang member. They don't care about that. It's just the fact that we have to corral this YouTube shit. You're gonna see the next 4 years. I think Donald Trump's gonna do something about YouTube.
You think so?
There's just too many people that got money in their pocket that should not. These kids are dying, trying to be drug kingpins, getting people killed. Come on, man. Lil Durk's supposed to be enjoying his money. You know what I mean? And then you want to talk about like guys like King Von and all that.
He wanted to slide for Von. He wanted to, and he did. He slid for Von. He wanted to slide for Von.
He slid his ass into the penitentiary. That's where he slid. He slid his motherfucking ass into the penitentiary. His ass is cooked.
Charleston White made a statement.
They got him on wiretap. They got him on wiretap. They got everything, man.
There was a very interesting statement by Charleston White the other week that I seen, and I thought about it. He said that in California, that's Bloods and Crips. Ain't a bunch of GDs and BDs down there.
No.
He's in Florida right now, and guess where they caught his co-defendants? Peoria, Illinois. Them niggas was about an hour away from Chicago. Them niggas went back to Chicago. I don't know why they went to Peoria. But Peoria is like, okay, you know how Minneapolis, then you got Stillwater, but a little further. Peoria is about maybe an hour and a half away from Illinois. So niggas still go out there, probably be hustling and doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they caught everybody in Peoria. They caught all the people that was involved, that they said did this crime, which means they've been watching these dudes for a long time. And they had to have somebody. Oh, yeah. They had to have somebody. They've been on that for a while. To find out that Quando Rondo was in LA means that somebody from the streets of LA had to have told them that. See?
Yeah.
Because Dirk wasn't in LA when that happened. That nigga was probably in some mansion chilling. Like, hey, call me when it's done.
Somebody told him that.
Somebody told him that. Okay, so now they gonna kind of look into that too. I know I've been hearing things, I don't know, but I've been hearing things online where they say, you know, it was Brick Baby that was saying some things, and I'm like, man, he didn't even have to put himself.
No, he's the first person that online, he said he was on that Adam 22 show, and he said they said something, and he was like, well, I guess nobody could say that Von, they didn't slide for Von no more. Or they ain't gonna say Lil Durk didn't slide on Von no more. The reason that's the first anybody ever heard of anything like that. Then here come Fed charges.
Yeah,
and according to WAC 100, Brick Baby got caught with some gun charges and ain't doing no time.
Oh, okay. And see, that's why that makes sense now that you say that, because a lot of people were saying there was a lot of dudes online that, you know how like the guys that they interview, like these street dudes and stuff, they were saying like they don't even know why Brick Baby even said that, because they say a lot of street niggas nationwide got a lot of respect for Brick Baby. Like a lot of real street niggas got respect for him. So why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? So now that kind of makes sense.
I knew people that I had a friend that just passed away that could vouch for Brick Baby.
See?
But now you on social media. He on that show, and he's very loose lipped because he's got a drug problem.
I can see that.
Yeah, you know he's got a real documented pill issue. So he be getting pilled up on that Adam 22 show, and he be letting a lot of shit fly out his mouth.
Like, remember this? This how I knew that maybe he might be on drugs.
Oh, he's on drugs, that's for sure. He's on pills, for sure. Percocet. He even admitted it. And another thing about Brick Baby that people don't know is Brick Baby's parents are very wealthy.
Really?
Very, very wealthy. I know a friend of mine that just passed away used to be in that circle. In that Las Vegas, California circle. Brick Baby was a pimp. That I can vouch for all that. But his parents are very wealthy and he's double-breasted. He's acting like he's got money from hustling and all that. He got parents, man. His dad doesn't like the fact that he's a gangbanger, so he just comes and gets his little $2,000-3,000 a week and they just keep going.
So how did he get? So that must mean he must have really got entrenched into that shit, because if he's respected amongst real street niggas, he must have decided. Yeah, if he must have decided to get into that. But you know, another thing that's very interesting, I used to hear the niggas say, a lot of them 60 niggas say the Rich Rolling thing, and I used to hear that. I seen a couple of documentaries where they said in certain places, like, you know, West LA got a little more money than East LA, and the 60s were known to be rich or niggas to get money, but they just gangbang.
Yeah.
So maybe he kind of comes from that side, because I seen something that was very interesting to me. They had a documentary online talking about the inner fighting of the 60s. They say they have the most inner fighting where they backdoor each other a lot. Where they have
look at what happened to Nipsey. Who killed Nipsey?
Yeah, see, I didn't know. I thought the 60s were just big and the strongest gang in LA and they were real tight, and that's not the case. Them niggas be getting into it. There's different divisions that don't get along.
Hold on a second, DP.
Yeah.
DP, hold on a second.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked to this gas station here to get a frozen pizza. You know, the one by Devani.
Oh, no.
No, not Holiday.
Devani.
I think it's called Arco.
Yeah. Oh, they still open?
Yeah. Now you gotta, it's 24 hours, but you gotta go to the window.
Devani's, man, they should be open till 1 o'clock, man. You could have got something out of there.
Nah, Devani's, them motherfuckers close at 10. Devani's, they done at 10.
I haven't been there in a while. I gotta bring my son over there in a couple more weeks, man, to get a little appointment. The whole area in the neighborhood kind of changed a little bit, man, but
oh yeah, it's changed a lot.
I've been seeing there's been a lot more shootings lately that I've been seeing. I'm gonna bring that up in a minute.
Whenever you see drug addicts, you know, but see, the thing with Minneapolis is they don't want any of that stuff downtown.
Right.
They don't want anybody saying, I'm not going to spend money downtown, which is the center of where the money is. They don't want anybody saying, I'm not spending money downtown because I might get hurt or some bombs. Now, look, I was going to, I think I might have sent you a text to this. Did you see the article where Minneapolis is trying to make it a no-car zone downtown?
No, I didn't see that. Let me see if I can pull that up.
They're trying to pass this law, yeah. And the reason they're doing that is to get rid of the panhandling.
No cars?
Yeah, just buses.
What does that mean? What do you mean no car zone?
No cars. Unless you got a bus or a transit or something, you ain't driving downtown.
So you can't drive downtown?
No.
I don't see.
They're trying. No, it hasn't. They haven't passed it. They're trying to.
Well, what is that going to do?
Eliminate panhandlers. There's panhandlers on every street corner downtown.
But they can still, if I get off the bus, they can still harass me for some change.
No, they're panhandling vehicles. They ain't panhandling people walking. The people with the signs.
Okay.
Yeah, they want drivers. They're trying to get rid of that shit. And the reason you see it in the sewer neighborhood where I'm working right now, I work overnight in the building I used to live at as an overnight caretaker, kicking bums out and shit. So the reason why people in the sewer neighborhood are seeing it all is because that's where they pushed it to. And what do you mean by push it to? Okay, it's like mental manipulation. Okay, so if I'm a bum downtown, I get harassed. Wait a minute. If I'm a bum on Lake Street, I get harassed. If I'm a bum in sewer, nobody says anything. Okay, so just come here. You know, it just becomes subliminal. And that's what they want. They figure Seward, there might be 10 apartment buildings in the Seward neighborhood. 8 of them are low-income housing. So guess what? You know what? Who you going to rob? Everybody's broke. Put them all in one place, so then it's easy for us as police to determine, because we all know it's in one location. Can't nobody hide, because we're going to find you. You know what I mean? Once it's all spread out, and then once some cracker says, I'm not going downtown and spending a pocket full of money tonight because there's bum. That's fucking Minneapolis' money, though. They ain't doing that. So they're trying to think, how can we get rid of these bums? Panhandlers, every street corner. If you come here to Seward in the daytime, every street corner there's somebody with a sign. You think, how these motherfuckers even make money? You know what I'm saying? There's right there on that Cedar Avenue right there, there's about five panhandlers on every street corner. Boom, 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 boom. It's amazing. They're trying to get rid of it downtown because that's where you're going to be if you're a panhandler. I used to live in this house in Aurora, Colorado, and there was this white boy who, he didn't work or anything. He was renting a room. And he used to say, man, don't worry about it. I had to rent money. I'm going to just go out and panhandle. He'd go out every Sunday right after church. This motherfucker come back with a couple $100, gift cards.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It's a reality. Yeah, it's a whole world. I almost was going to do a documentary on it. But those guys don't like to talk about that shit on camera, you know?
Yeah, they want to keep that money going and everything. I remember you talked about in terms of
documentary. Yeah, they don't want to admit to it either.
No, because see, and another
they
thing
don't want to admit to it.
If they admit to that and that's documented, technically they're avoiding taxes. You know what I'm saying? That's tax evasion. So you can get licensed. You know that, right?
Yeah. You know you can be a licensed panhandler.
Yeah. But
people don't know that shit. You pay $30. You go down to the city, you pay $30. You're a licensed panhandler. You panhandle anywhere you want. Nobody can say anything to you.
So that's a hustle now. Because if it's $30, you know you're going to make $100 a day. You know. You're going to make
I don't know about that. If you get the right spot, if you can find the right spot and don't nobody be over there, you could.
What if the
That's why motherfuckers be downtown.
What if the panhandlers start sex tripping? What if they like, yeah, nigga, you on my corner, like you?
I've seen that. No, that's happened, bro. With that white kid I was telling you about, he came back one day bloodied and his shirt was all ripped. I said, what's going to happen to you, Cameron? And he's like, man, the motherfuckers try to sit on my spot. I end up having to fight him. Woo, woo, woo. I've seen it happen here in the sewer neighborhood, too.
Like,
I've seen a white dude just sit up there, and I see some natives push him off the spot.
Like, hey, where you from?
It's us now. And I've seen natives tax white people for panhandling.
Oh,
like, you can panhandle here, but I'm gonna need 20.
Oh man.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
I wish
I'm gonna need $20 out you.
I wish I was a panhandler.
Yeah, that's the whole world.
I wish I was a panhandler and somebody try to tell, like, you. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that's a whole world. It's a world.
Yeah.
And then there's another world where it's called Skyping. Skyping is getting cigarette butts out of ashtrays. and then rolling them up in rolling paper.
And selling them?
There's people that the only way they smoke is doing that. They find ashtrays. That's why the building where I used to live and where I work at, I made them get rid of the ashtray outside.
Yeah, that's
they get rid of this ashtray because it's attracting too many bums.
Yeah, that's unsanitary as hell. And you got these folks standing around now. Oh, hell no. Damn.
Oh, it's the whole world. You know, and a lot of people, you know, they look at bums and they go, why the fuck does this motherfucker stay like this? One thing they have to realize is lameness and negativity has manifest to the point where it's a clique. So if you see one guy that's a loser, he's to stand out. Now you got 3 or 4 guys who are losers, so they meet up with each other. Say, hey man, you got a job? No, I ain't got no job. Well, I ain't got a job either, man. Let's kick it. Are you lame? Hell yeah, I'm lame. Well, I'm lame too.
Oh,
that guy's lame, man. We need to get together.
Oh, shit.
Boom, now guess what you got? You got 5 lames. You got a clique.
Oh, my
Walking
God.
around lame. Boom, it just goes like that. Now you got snitches. Oh, I'm a snitch. Oh, you're a snitch. Oh, let's kick it.
And some of these people have weapons. Some of them have weapons.
Yeah, they have lameness in common now. It used to be if you were lame, you kind of had to hang around people who didn't really know you that well. Or if you was a lame in Minneapolis, you had to hang around people in St. Paul. You couldn't kick it with nobody that went to the school you went to. You know what I mean? You had to. Now, if you're at South High or Edison or one of these schools and you're kind of a goofy, hang around the goofies.
Yeah, you could
a snitch. Hang around other snitches.
When you were a snitch or a goofy, you know, when we were coming up high school and after high school, you didn't really get too much respect. You couldn't just hang around niggas like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now you can hang around other goofies. So when you equate that to homeless people, you might see a guy, and to you, he's just a dusty bum, homeless. What the fuck's wrong with this motherfucker? Need to go to treatment. But in his world, in that world of homeless people, he's a top guy.
So they have
in the homeless world.
So in the homeless
they have their own world.
They got rank.
Yeah, just like in real life, how in civilians' world, you'll have people that are doing real great, upper class, middle class, lower class. You have that in the homeless world too. You got certain homeless people that always keep a few dollars, always keep a pack of cigarettes, always keep whatever drug they do. They always got a little bit of it. You know, they got a little swag to them. Then you got some motherfuckers.
Classes the bums. I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around
there is. So you got to think about it. So if you're a bum, it's not just one thing. They're all bums. To us, it is. To them, there's different levels of it. It's like bums looking at civilians and going, everybody's the same.
Check this out.
You know what I mean? They're not. There's certain bums. They have a little more swag to them. They know how to take care of their drug. That drug that they do has caused them to be homeless. But within that, they know how to at least maintain something. And you got some homeless motherfuckers, man, they just run around here looking to rob people. They got a $200 a day drug habit and they make $0. And they manage to get high every day. Think about that.
Look at this. 2 injured in shooting at South Minneapolis homeless encampment. On 2200 block of Cedar at 5:40 p.m., a man with life-threatening gunshot wounds found less than
in the day?
Yeah, 5:40.
5:40 in the day?
Yep.
You know where that's coming from? That's coming from somebody giving somebody their money. Hi, how are you? Good. That comes from somebody giving their money to somebody to go get them some drugs, and the motherfucker disappeared. Or they bought some dope and it wasn't real dope. Because in that fentanyl world and the cocaine, fentanyl world, you can fool people real quick, real easily, especially if they're desperate. So then you get a gun, you just start spraying everybody. That's where that's coming from, you know what I mean? I seen it when there was a homeless cabinet here across the street from where I work and where I used to live, man. Them motherfuckers ready to kill each other. Damn. You see the girls on payday, the girls that would be in the homeless center, they start dressing up and turning into hookers for the day. It's the craziest thing. Now, guess what? Even in that world, there's Johns too. So if you panhandled $100, you spent $30 on some pussy.
So basically, if I'm at the homeless, basically if I'm in this homeless world, or in the or in the crowd of lames or whatever that you would define, and let's say I got me a little clean suburban truck, not necessarily a 2020, but a 99, 2000, 2005, but I'm homeless. I'm considered to be in a certain class among the lames or the homeless.
Right. Oh, no, yeah. You wouldn't even be considered homeless because you'd be living in your car. You had a vehicle?
Yeah, if I had a vehicle.
And you was able to live in your car, and you'd probably be getting high for free because you'd be getting people rides to go get the dope.
So if I had a tent,
that's half the battle.
So if I go into the encampment and I'm the only nigga with this truck and I got my little tent, everybody be coming up to me, hey DP, hey, bring me over here.
Yeah, why
bro.
would you have a tent? But why would you have a tent if you had a Suburban?
Well,
you just live in a Suburban.
Yeah, I suppose
you wouldn't live in a tent. You wouldn't even be involved in the tent city. Those people, they ain't got no Suburbans. They ain't got enough money to buy anything, a hamburger, let alone a Suburban. So if you owned a Suburban and you was doing dope, you'd probably be getting high for free because you'd be giving people rides. But all that would do is make your habit more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This stuff is killing people left and right, man. It's just killing normal kids because it's socially accepted.
Now,
fentanyl is socially accepted.
Now, I'm not hearing much from Tim Walz. Why isn't Tim cracking down on the mayor to do a little bit more to
because those are voters. That homeless woke crew, like for all these homeless encampment centers, there's people that come over there and be feeding them. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They got some people that come in the morning and feed them breakfast. They'll have some people come at night, feed them dinner. They'll have other people come over there and actually bring them needles.
Really?
They'll have people, fresh needles, so they ain't reusing the same needle.
Right.
Then you'll have some people come over there, bring them underwear and socks and all that. So Tim Walz and the Minnesota Democratic Party, what they're seeing is we need those votes. We need that crowd of people. We need their vote. So that vote is that crowd of people and whoever's related to somebody homeless. You feel me? Okay. And the sympathetic for the homeless, people related to the homeless, we want their votes. And during the time where Democratic Party, this election, the ones before, they were getting grimy. So they would walk up to them, to these homeless centers, and they'd have these desks made, these makeshift desks, and they'd sit there and they'd sign these people up for programs and give them gift cards. And while they're doing that, they're telling them retroactive your vote. Just go ahead and make all your votes right now while you're here.
New York.
Boom, 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 boom.
Another thing that I noticed with the Democratic Party, remember, about a month ago, we were kind of clowning Adams and stuff. Adams initially was bringing in a lot of them illegals. And then towards the end, Adams' tune changed. He was like, man, New York is running into a rampant situation. We got to stop all this illegal immigration. And then all of a sudden, he gets some federal charges. Well, lately, Trump been like, hey, that's my guy. And AOC and
Trump knows where the charges came from. AOC and them is where the charges came from.
Right, but AOC, the
didn't
Democrat,
have a problem with the migrants at one time, right?
Right.
So his problem with the migrants came in. Now they're committing crimes. And guess who's going to be held responsible if this turns into some lawless-ass area? Who's going to get fired?
Him. The mayor.
Yeah, so he's going to crack whip. When he crack whip, now guess what you're doing to Democrats? You fucking with our bread.
But they didn't expect.
You're bringing light to something that we don't want. Democrats did not want anybody knowing these migrants are coming here causing trouble.
But now they done cut it.
They just wanted it.
They're cutting their money. They're cutting their cards, and the Democrats
Who's cutting it?
New York ain't giving them no more money. The debit cards, that's been a big thing. That's why they're protesting right now. And they played their hand. They thought they were gonna put him up on some charges, and guess what? Now Trump is supporting them. And Trump's in office. You know
Trump's
he's gonna
get
pardon
him out.
Adams. He gonna get him out.
Yeah, he's gonna get him out. He's gonna
AOC
get him out because he knows that's Democrats fucking with him.
Man, AOC, you know, Adams is gonna turn Republican after this. He'll be like, damn, these Democrats stabbed me in the back. They put these charges on me, and AOC is in a weird situation because now the Republicans gonna have the House, they gonna have the Senate, they commander in chief.
They got it.
Like if Trump really want to lay belt, he could just put some trumped up charges on AOC and a bunch. He remembers all those folks that was fucking with him. Remember, he remembers those people to put them witch hunt charges and all that. He ain't forgot about that shit. If he really wants to go
Look what
hard,
he did to. Look what he did to Como with the Como brothers.
Yeah,
One was the governor, the former governor of New York. He brought some. Trump is the one who brought two bitches to get both of them out of their job. That's a guarantee. He brought one bitch on the governor, and that's all it takes. Is just some bitch that's been working with him to say he did something to me.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
That's it. And then the one that worked at CNN, that was knocking him every day, he got his ass too.
Yeah, they rolled.
Trump is very. He said he has a list.
Yep. He ain't bullshitting. And that's what I respect about him. He's not lying about that shit. He's very transparent about it. If he's gonna lay belt to you, like he'll say, I remember. And there's some Republicans too. He said, I'm gonna remember you.
There's some Republicans cutting up on him. J.D. Vance got lucky. The only reason J.D. Vance got spared and all that is because he wrote the Hillbilly book. And Trump is very, very, very popular with hillbillies. Very.
You know what? Remember what Trump said?
Very.
Do you remember what Trump said? He said, you know what's worse than a Democrat? He said a disloyal Republican. He said a disloyal Republican is 10 times worse than the worst Democrat. And he says, I remember you.
You're head of the whole party like he is, and then they're sitting there trying to undermine him. I mean, the other one was what's the Hindu guy? Oh,
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, he came correct now, but he was knocking Trump every day for a while. Really? Every day. Now he didn't kind of, at first he was running to be the president.
Damn.
He was on the primaries.
What's that girl that was fucking with Good Times? JJ Dynamite. What was her name? Ann Couture. That was basically saying that found that the descendants of slaves and freedmen should be the only ones in this country to get reparations. She was talking shit to him that one time. He was real quiet. She said, I wouldn't vote for you. You're Indian. She said, I'm gonna be honest. You're not American. I'm like, damn. He was real quiet. He
wasn't born in America.
Right. So he
shouldn't even be allowed to run.
I don't know if he was.
You were not born in America.
Is he from? Okay,
There's no country in the world. There's no country in the world besides America that you can not be from that country and run for office.
Let me see where he's from.
There's no other place.
Let me see where he was born. Okay, so yeah, he was born in Cincinnati, but he's still an immigrant. What I mean by that is
Oh, Vivek was born in Cincinnati?
Yeah, he was born in Cincinnati
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was born Hindu immigrant parents. So that's why he talks so slick among foundational blacks. He was born here, but he still has the mind of an immigrant. Like, yeah, y'all niggas is niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, Ann Coulter was wrong to say that to him.
Man, and
if he was born in America.
You know what? He talks so slick against blacks, and he didn't say nothing. See, when white mommy or white daddy lay the belt down, a lot of these non-black people, I don't like that word people of color, but he is a person of color. They get real quiet. They get extremely quiet when white people start talking shit to them. Now, he got a lot of shit to say on black folks. Check this out. This is at the Times of India. Kash Patel to head CIA. Vivek Ramaswamy, Homeland Security, ? What a Trump 2.0 cabinet may look like. So this is in India. This isn't the United States of America. I'm reading you an article from the Times of India. They're thinking that Vivek might be in the cabinet.
You're gonna get a job because he was he's been going hard for Trump here in the last probably 6 months.
Now I'm gonna
that's done. Trump's smart. You're either gonna buy a position, or if you have enough of a platform, get on my nuts.
Yep.
Like when his vice president, how he fooled them, he made everybody from Kelsey, Gabbard, all these people go on TV and kiss my ass for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm gonna pick one of y'all. And he picked a motherfucker and never said anything positive about him the whole time.
That's smart. That's smart. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Trump, he has an ego. I want all y'all to go on TV and kiss my ass for the next 2 months, and then I'm gonna pick whoever one I want. Then he picked someone who wasn't even one of the people he had in mind.
Now I want to read this, and I want to go to another article. We'll close out pretty quick. Check this out. Now the key front runners they got on this article, and I like to read news from outside of America a lot of times because most of the stuff in America this gets bullshit me and you just talk about. But when you're getting stuff from the outside perspective of America, we get to kind of see like, all right, what are they saying? Elon Musk is number one. We already know that. So Brooke Collins, currently the CEO of America First Policy Institute, Rollins is a close ally of Trump and is considered a strong candidate for chief of staff. Mark Rubio. Now, let's go back to Vance. Weird Vance, you used to call him. I think Mark Rubio would have been a better pick than Vance for VP. Vance is not very charismatic. You know what I'm saying? So he's a Florida senator. They're considering him for the Secretary of State due to his strong foreign policy stance and previous VP candidacy. Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State, is likely choice for Secretary of Defense. He has maintained a close relationship with Trump and has been mentioned as a potential pick for various top positions. Vivek Ramaswamy, the biotech entrepreneur and former presidential candidate, is a strong contender for a significant role, possibly leading the Department of Homeland Security. Kayab Kash Patel. Now, I want y'all to really think about this. These are a lot of Indian folks. Do you remember when folks was talking about with Kamala? She's being Indian. Do you know she would have probably did the same thing? But you see what Trump is playing. These are Indians that probably think of themselves as white. Okay? They're not looking at themselves like the sister girl thing. No. He's picking Indians that have business experience and that think with the race soldier mind state. So this dude named Kash Patel, a former House staffer with extensive experience in national security, Patel was speculated to be a candidate for the CEI director. His loyalty to Trump and background in defense makes him a fitting choice for such a critical role. Bobby Jindal, former governor of Louisiana. Nikki Haley, although she ran against Trump in the Republican primaries, Haley, the former UN ambassador and governor of South Carolina, is still considered. She was the one talking about, well, I don't know about slavery, and I don't. She tried to act and play dumb about slavery. She's Indian, okay, and she thinks she's a white woman. You remember Nikki Haley, Tulsi Gabbard. You mentioned that earlier. Trump has indicated that after leaving the Democrats, Gabbard joined the Republican Party. And this is what I got to say about black folks. This left-wing, right-wing thing don't work for us. For these people of color and these white folks, as we can see. Remember when Tulsi was getting on Kamala before, talking about her policies, how she was doing blacks in California. You see how quick that a lot of these race soldiers can switch from left wing to right wing? See, that don't work for blacks. It don't work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It don't work. So she joined the Republican Party and expressed interest in serving in a diplomatic capacity in Trump's administration. I think she could do it. Tulsi's not stupid. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He wants to deal with the health matters, so that makes sense.
He got the position too, I think.
Oh, he got it. He gonna get it for sure. Cause you got to think
but a Kennedy dealing with a Republican, that's unheard of.
It's unheard of, but Kennedy, he knows how to play his position. See, even like what people say, and a lot of times what people say.
Yeah, but the Kennedys are known Democrats. He's going against, a lot by doing that.
We got to keep in mind they're white. They're still white. Remember what we just said. That works for whites. Don't work for niggas. Yeah, I understand you and Kennedy. Yeah, we have our differences. Okay, what can you do for me? What can you do for me lately? Scott Benson, a hedge fund manager and economic advisor. He's used as a candidate for Treasury Secretary, reflecting on Trump's focus on economic issues. Mike Waltz, retired National Guard Special Forces colonel and current congressman. He might be the contender for Defense Secretary. Stephen Miller, known for his hardline immigration policies during Trump's first term, Miller may be considered for a significant role related to immigration policy. So there you have it. This is what India, the Times of India is saying. We're not talking about CNN or Fox. We ain't got to hear about the mainstream fake news. This is the Times of India that's saying this is what they think is going to be the contenders, and I believe them. Now, I want to play this again, and I'm going to play a couple more videos in a minute, and we'll get ready to close out soon. These are some things that we were warned about in the early 90s. The Congressional Black Caucus was warned about it, and they ignored it. So let's go to their website and see what these punk ass niggas. See, I'm so happy that these Democrat Sambo ass niggas ain't gonna be able to get the same benefits they used to. See, Kamala's out of office. Did they change the website? Okay, no, they didn't. Okay, look. Oh, they done changed the website about the CBC. Now, remember, I did a report, and I'm gonna repost this. The Congressional Black Caucus, established in 1971. Let's see what they're saying now. Let's see what the Congressional Black Caucus is saying about what they're going to do for black folks. I want black folks to understand this. Then right after this, we are going to go into the Hispanic Caucus and see what they say again. Oh, they done switched this around, Jack. About the CBC. All right. Same playbook. Same playbook. But let me read it again just so my listeners will know. The Congressional Black Caucus in 1971. Okay. 1971 they were established. Now the 70s, maybe a little bit in the 80s, they might have been all right. After that, it gets done. So look. This is what their policy agenda is, bro. I want everybody to the sound of my voice. Now, this is a pre-recorded. Me and Solomon are pre-recorded on this podcast. Now, I've read this before. I'm going to read it again. This is the same thing. Reforming criminal justice system. Combating voter suppression. And voter suppression is bullshit. You could easily get an ID. All right? Expanding access to education, whatever, healthcare, 21st century technologies, including broadband. They're talking about internet, as if niggas can't get internet in the United States. Okay, whatever. Strengthening protections for workers. Expanding access to capital contracts and counseling for minority. They didn't say black. Promoting U.S. foreign policy initiatives in Africa and other countries that are consistent with the fundamental right of human dignity. I'll be damned. You didn't mention black one damn time, and you mentioned Africa. And the last time that one of these Negroes went over to Africa, what were they saying? They was over there trying to promote these LGBT policies. They weren't speaking on the behalf of the black folk that's in Ghana. That's cap. They don't give a fuck about Africa. They're working with the race soldiers against Africa. Not once have you seen right here anything about reparations. Not one thing about, not a single solitary thing about reparations. Nothing. They bragged about meeting with President Nixon. Now, this is important right here. I'll give them this. Apartheid in Africa. Now, I talk about this all the time. Apartheid in Africa came down because of foundational blacks. They said, all right, we're going to boycott Coca-Cola. What happened in the Democratic Party this week happened in Africa in 1986. Black folks said, you know what, our brothers over there, it's not going to be benefit to us, but our brothers over there is getting mistreated. That's going to stop. Black folks here in America shut that shit down. We not going to buy shit. We gonna destroy Coca-Cola. We did what we did to the Democratic Party because we didn't feel that the Africans over there was getting a fair deal, which was true. But what happened was this: when Nelson Mandela got out that prison cell, he didn't lay enough belt. He went into the Truth and Reconciliation, and that's how you got an Elon Musk today. He should have been laying belt on the white supremacists. We don't want no forgiveness. Get the fuck out of our country and go back to Europe. You remember in the 80s and the 90s, they used to always say this thing to black folks: go back to Africa. I've never been to Africa. My folks ain't been to Africa for 400 years. We're lost, right? Our heritage is here in America. No, you go back to Europe and you pay Africa reparations is what the hell you need to do. That's what you need to do. You need to go pay Africa their fucking reparations. Because out here in South Africa, right here, it says the CBC is often called the conscience of Congress for being the first to stand up and speak out about issues that Congress needs to examine or re-examine. This was the case with apartheid in South Africa, an issue that African American, I hate that word African American anyway. Elon is African American, but anyway, we'll just say it for the sake of saying it. Foundational freedmen, whatever the fuck. African and African American activists and founding members of the CBC became involved in decades before Congress passed the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act of 1986. So what they're saying is, the freedmen black Americans here in America, for decades, not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, for several years, black folks here in America before 1986, maybe 20 to 30 years, been saying, hey, that apartheid going to South Africa. Because remember, we got rid of Jim Crow here in America from not the 1930s to the the mid 1960s. We destroyed Jim Crow here in America. But there was still apartheid going on in the 80s in South Africa, and we was like, well, we don't like that. All you Elon Musk gotta step down. So it says right here, in 1959, Diggs became the first African-American chairman of the House Subcommittee on Africa. He used his role as subcommittee chairman to increase awareness of political and social issues in Southern Africa, South Africa in particular. In fact, the hearings Diggs held as subcommittee chairman helped mobilize African and African-American activists and gave them a platform to offer alternatives to long-standing U.S. foreign policy in South Africa. Apartheid was a major concern for the founding members of the CBC. In 1972, Representative Ronald Dellums of California, one of the founding members of the CBC, introduced the CBC's first anti-apartheid bill. The purpose of this bill was to establish the CBC's anti-apartheid position and to end apartheid and other racist practices in South Africa. So keep in mind, in the 60s, here in America, the 70s, you had black folks laying belt on the race soldiers, basically saying, hey, we done with this race soldier shit. You ain't gonna mistreat us. And at the same time, we was going over to Africa, trying to tell South Africans, hey, look, this shit gonna have to stop with these race soldiers out here too. Then in 85, Rep. William H. Gray, Democrat of Pennsylvania, chairman of the House Committee on Budget and a member of the CBC, introduced a bill that prohibited loans and new investment in South Africa and enforced sanctions on imports and exports in the nation. So in the 80s, black folks here in America, basically, we did like the same thing in Ethiopia, which is now, Ethiopia and Eritrea. We did the same thing back in the day. Hey, look, in Ethiopia, we told Italy, we trying to lay belt. We trying to pull up on our brothers right here and lay the belt. In 85, black folks was laying the belt on the race soldiers. You had people like, you had all kinds of black entertainers that basically said, hey, we ain't gonna perform here and there. We ain't gonna buy no Coca-Cola, all kind of shit. So in 1986, after 14 years after Dellums introduced the legislation, they passed an anti-apartheid legislation. Nelson Mandela They basically said you got to lift the sanctions and release him. And Ronald Reagan vetoed the bill, but Congress overrided his veto because the support for the bill was so strong. So now that's from the 80s. So I'm gonna give the CBC credit because people use that term loosely, Pan-Africanism. That was Pan-Africanism. We looked over at Africa and said, okay, yeah, those are our brothers. These white supremacists over here gonna have to stop this shit. Now, this don't directly got nothing to do with us, but we don't like it. Like, for example, a lot of black folks were getting a lot of flack during the when the Asian crime bills was coming. They were blaming black people for a lot of BS and well, you're not shopping at this, that, and the third. Before the pandemic started, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when China was over there and they was kicking Africans out of China and mistreating them?
Yeah.
Well, I seen the video and I said, well, yeah, it don't necessarily got nothing to do with me directly, but I felt like, okay, they black. No more fried rice.
Right.
No more fried rice. And some people over here, well, what you mean? And no. When we seen that, my wife was like, yeah, I ain't buying no more hair weave. Nope. And we held that shit strong. Yeah, she was dead. Yeah, she was dead serious, almost to the point. And some people ain't gonna like this on my show, but I don't give a damn. To the point where I cut on a Netflix show, and it might be some science fiction thing, and she'd be like, "Nah." She was like, "No hair weave, no chicken fried right now, for real. Go to a black-owned business. She said, turn the foundation on." You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, to the point. Right. We held because they boycotted us for forever. You remember when I told you with Menace to Society, I always play this. Oh, I feel sorry for your mother. Hurry up and buy. They've been doing that to us forever. Not all of them. Now, for the credit to give credit due to the small amount of Chinese or whatever that might have looked out. Yeah, but that ain't enough. The hell with that. That don't cut the rug. Because black people here in America have been spending money with them for over 50 years. They don't break bread with us. It's a common unwritten rule in their culture not to fuck with niggas when it comes to commerce. But I said, all right, seriously, I have not went to a Chinese restaurant since 2018. I don't remember when they started kicking them Africans out or started doing shit to them. Since then, I have not been to a Chinese restaurant since then. My wife ain't went to no Chinese store. We went to a black-owned store. Now, we don't agree with the hair weave thing. I think black women should wear their natural fucking hair or whatever. But if we're gonna get hair weave, we gonna go to some niggas. You see what I'm saying? And folks had a problem with that. But the thing is, black people have been the greatest contributors to everyone but our own race. We spend money with everyone else. We spend money for Gucci belts and all this bullshit. We spend money. We enrich everybody else, and they treat us like shit. So I've still, to this day, it's 2024. It's about to be 2025, bro. When you gonna let it go? No, I'm not gonna buy no chicken chop fried rice until I see a fucking line of 3-4 blocks of Chinese folks buying soul food. Straight up, yeah. They when I seen that, when they were like, oh well, and so yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna give the CBC credit in the 80s, but here's where they messed up. From 86, and they skipped all the way to 2008. Senator Barack Obama. They still got this on their website. Now, as Congressional Black Caucus, you're supposed to represent blacks. You know this nigga done did wrong to us. You shouldn't even be on the damn website. And they don't have anything else, bro, about the CBC. They don't have anything else about the CBC. Now, I kind of ran it for a long time. Let's go to the Hispanic Black Caucus. Not Hispanic Black Caucus, the Hispanic Congressional Caucus. I said Black Caucus. They ain't gonna mention no black. Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Now, Their website is a lot shorter. They get straight to the point, and it's all about Hispanic. It's all about Hispanic. Oh, they done updated theirs too. It started to look a little spiffier. Oh, interesting. Oh, they want to get down with the blacks now? This is interesting. See, yeah, niggas voted couch, so listen to this. Tri-Caucus chairs express outrage at censorship of exhibits at the National Archives Museum. Today, the chairs of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and Congressional Black Caucus has issued a statement in response to this week. Oh, interesting. And when you click on this, it goes straight to the Wall Street Journal. America's top archivist puts a rosy spin on U.S. history, pruning the thorny parts. Now listen to this, bro. This gonna blow your top back. Look who they mentioned first. Plans for new exhibits at the National Archives Museum included swapping a photo of Martin Luther King Jr. marching for civil rights for former President Nixon greeting Elvis. Whoa. Ow, whoa. Let's go to about. Let's look at the congressional. I find it very interesting that the photo op that they took, they got a sister here in the background. They got three black people. This wasn't on the Hispanic website no more. Is it because the descendants of the slaves and laid belt on the Democratic Party? When I looked at this website 90 days ago, they didn't have any black people on their website. But let's continue. About the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Now look at the difference. I want all my listeners to listen right now. I just went to the Congressional Black Caucus and named all of the stuff they talked about, what it was about. They didn't mention any policies about an anti-black racist crime bill. They never mentioned Emmett Till. Not once. They didn't mention reparations. Now look at the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. I'm going to read it. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus was founded in December 1976 as a legislative service organization of the United States House of Representatives. Today, the CHC is organized as a congressional member organization governed by the rules of the U.S. House of Representatives. The CHC addresses national and international issues and crafts policies that impact the Hispanic community, as they should. The function of the caucus is to serve as a forum for the Hispanic members of Congress to coalesce around a collective legislative agenda. The caucus is dedicated to voicing and advancing through the legislative process issues affecting Hispanics in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Not one single solitary mention of blacks. Not one single solitary mention of minorities. Not one single solitary mention of disenfranchised groups. Not one single solitary instance of the LGBT. Not one single solitary instance of people of color. Just Hispanic. Very interesting. Not one. Strictly Hispanic, as they should. Why can't the Congressional Black Caucus do that? I'm going to say something on the Bagland podcast, and I mean it with every breath of air. The day that the Congressional Black Caucus gets disbanded will be a beautiful thing for black people. They should all be fired. They're worthless. They don't stand on our values. They're there for a check to be bootlick, boule, butter biscuit, banjo, brigade Negroes. They're worthless. If they were all to fall in the damn pit, if there was an earthquake and they fell in the pit tomorrow, they'd be just fine. It would be no difference to us. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful day, Solomon. This is a beautiful week. Now you're like, well, DP, you're a Republican. You're a Republican, DP. You're celebrating Donald Trump. No, I'm not celebrating Donald Trump. I'm celebrating the destruction of the Democratic Party that's been taking advantage of blacks for over 100 years. Well, DP, You ain't gonna get nothing from the Republicans. You a MAGA supporter. You a Republican. DP, you ain't gonna get no reparations. You ain't gonna get this. You ain't gonna get that. You ain't gonna be able to do this. The sky's gonna fall. The boogeyman. The police gonna pull you over. They gonna kick your ass and treat you like Philando Castile. They've already been doing that. There's nothing you could scare me with. It's gonna get worse. But guess what? We're all gonna get worse. You seen that protest in New York. They weren't protesting for Diddy. They weren't telling him he needs to buy more baby oil and put him in a Rolls Royce. What they were telling is, hey, we're protesting against Trump. For what? If you're here illegally, you're not supposed to be here. What are you protesting for? See, the pain is equal now. See, when Trump was in office before, the pain was, he was spreading that pain around. See, black people are the ones, we're used to getting all the fucking pain. Dr. Claude Anderson said we need more pain. I agree. Dr. Claude Anderson said, man, black folks need more pain. See, we all got all this pain. We've been getting pain the last 4 years. Carton of eggs is $4. You get a Asian crime bill. Ain't nobody doing nothing to no damn Asians. Philando Castile still ain't got no justice. Sandra Bland ain't got no justice. Emmett Till ain't got no justice. Right? So what's the purpose of voting Kamala in? Why not just vote Couch? I want to play some couple more videos before we close out. And this is something that a lot of black folks said, well, it ain't going to happen.
We're going to have a converging forces, social forces coming across this country. About 8 major forces are going to push us into that understructure and that underclass position. And let me talk about 3 or 4 of them right quick. First thing, across this country, you're going to have an increasing amount of conservatism. Now, I want you all to understand up front what conservatism means. So I don't care whoever uses that word, you know what it means. Conservatism is a new code word for anti-blackism. Okay?
Now, I want y'all to understand that you still here, right, bro? You heard what he said. This was in 1995. 1 year after Joe Biden passed the 94 crime bill. 1 year after Hillary Clinton was calling black kids super predators. 1 year after Jim Crow Joe Biden architected and Plantation Clyburn and the Congressional Black Caucus, a lot of them niggas was like, yeah, you niggas need to pull your pants up. All y'all niggas selling all this crack and gang banging. This was 1 year after that.
Now a conservative can stand right in your face and tell you and confess that he's a conservative, which means he is a racist, and not tell you he's a racist. Racism right now, we got racism